Silent signs you're low on oxygen. Catch these 12 before it's too late. Hello, my friends. Have you ever stopped and wondered if your body is getting enough oxygen? It's something we don't often think about, but the truth is, low oxygen levels can show up in surprising ways you might not even recognize at first. From odd breathing patterns to strange sensations in your hands and feet, these signs could be telling you something important about your health. And believe me, catching them early can make all the difference. Stay with me because today we're going to uncover 12 unexpected signs your body isn't getting the oxygen it needs. And trust me, you won't want to miss any of these. Sign 1. Rapid heartbeat. Let's start with something we've all probably felt, a racing heart. I remember one of my patients, Mr. Adams, who came in complaining of a racing heart. He thought it was just his anxiety, but after further examination, we found that his oxygen levels were lower than normal. When your oxygen levels drop, your heart works overtime to make sure your organs get the oxygen they need. This is called tachycardia, and it's your body's way of keeping things moving. But here's the catch. When the heart is forced to beat faster for long periods of time, it can cause serious strain. Sometimes you might even feel chest discomfort or anxiety along with it. If you experience this along with dizziness, fatigue, or shortness of breath, it's time to take action. Oxygen therapy, managing heart conditions, and addressing breathing issues can make all the difference. Don't ignore it. Sign 2. Excessive sweating. I'm sure you've noticed this one before, sweating a lot even when you're not exerting yourself or exposed to heat. A few months ago, I had a patient, Mrs. Miller, who came in drenched in sweat even though she wasn't doing anything physically demanding. She thought it was just the heat, but after some tests, we discovered that her oxygen levels were dangerously low. It's like your body's in overdrive trying to make up for the lack of oxygen. Cold, clammy skin is a telltale sign. And it's not just uncomfortable, it's a sign your body is stressed out. People with asthma, COPD, or even those exposed to high altitudes or carbon monoxide might experience this. In severe cases, it can even point to hypoxemic shock, when oxygen deprivation starts to harm your organs. If you're sweating like this, especially if it's paired with a racing heart, rapid breathing, or chest tightness, don't wait. Seek medical help immediately. Sign 3. Cyanosis, or bluish skin. Now this one's important. Cyanosis. If you've noticed your lips, fingers, or skin turning blue, that's a red flag. A few weeks ago, Mr. Roberts came into the office with his lips looking unusually blue. He'd been feeling more fatigued lately and hadn't thought much of it, but this was a serious sign of oxygen deprivation. Cyanosis happens when your blood doesn't have enough oxygen, and it can be one of the most noticeable signs of serious oxygen deprivation. It's especially common in people with chronic conditions like COPD or heart disease, and in acute situations like choking or drowning. If it happens suddenly, it could be a sign of something more urgent like a pulmonary embolism. Don't ignore this. It requires immediate medical attention. Sign 4. Confusion or memory loss. Here's something you might not have thought of. Confusion or memory loss. I've had a number of patients like Mrs. Thompson who've come in saying that they just didn't feel like themselves anymore. They'd often forget simple things like where they put their keys, or they'd feel confused in familiar places. You might even feel lost or have trouble recalling names. Your brain is one of the organs most reliant on oxygen, so when it's not getting enough, it can leave you feeling foggy. If this sounds familiar, it could be related to oxygen levels, especially if you have conditions like sleep apnea or COPD. Your brain needs oxygen to function properly, so don't brush this off. Addressing low oxygen early can help you feel more focused and clear-headed.
Sign 5. Euphoria. Here's a surprising one. Euphoria. It's not something we usually associate with low oxygen, but it can happen. I had one patient, Mr. Johnson, who suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of happiness and detachment, like everything was fine despite his rapid breathing. It might feel good for a moment, but here's the catch. It's just a temporary high that masks something much more serious. As your body struggles to get enough oxygen, it releases chemicals like adrenaline. This can give you a temporary sense of euphoria or feeling detached from reality. But it's not as harmless as it seems. Oxygen deprivation can quickly turn from an emotional high to a medical emergency, leading to fainting or even seizures. If you're feeling unusually euphoric, watch out for other signs of low oxygen. It's not as harmless as it may seem. Sign 6. Visual problems. Blurred vision, seeing spots or flashes of light can be another symptom of low oxygen. I've had a few patients tell me about seeing flashes of light or their vision going blurry, even though they hadn't been on their phone or computer for long periods of time. Your eyes rely on a steady supply of oxygen to function properly. So when oxygen levels drop, it can affect your vision. In some cases, you might experience tunnel vision or even temporary vision loss. I've seen patients complain of these symptoms, but when we addressed their oxygen levels, the symptoms often improved. Don't ignore it. Low oxygen can lead to permanent vision damage if left untreated. Sign 7. Feeling lightheaded or dizzy. Do you ever feel dizzy, especially when you stand up quickly? Or maybe you feel unsteady, as if the ground is shifting under your feet. This could be due to low oxygen. I remember a patient, Mr. Martinez, who would feel lightheaded and dizzy just after standing up. The brain, which needs a constant supply of oxygen, struggles to maintain balance when oxygen levels are low. This can cause dizziness or even fainting. Conditions like anemia, lung disease, or heart problems often make this worse. If you're feeling lightheaded frequently, especially with other symptoms like shortness of breath, don't hesitate. Talk to your doctor. Sign 8. Feeling drowsy or tired. We all feel tired from time to time, but when you're feeling exhausted all the time, even after resting, that's a different story. A few months ago, Mrs. Clark came to see me because she felt so tired all the time, no matter how much sleep she got. She thought it was just because she was getting older, but her oxygen levels were shockingly low. Low oxygen levels can leave your body and mind feeling drained. It's not the usual tiredness, but a persistent fatigue that won't go away. This type of tiredness can also come with muscle weakness, so even simple tasks feel like a struggle. I've worked with patients who thought they were just aging, but when we addressed their oxygen levels, they found new energy. So if you're feeling this way, don't assume it's just part of getting older. It could be something more. Sign 9. Nausea or vomiting. If you find yourself feeling nauseous or vomiting without any obvious reason, low oxygen might be at play. I recall a patient of mine, Mr. Edwards, who came in one day complaining of constant nausea. He thought it was due to something he ate, but after further testing, we discovered his oxygen levels were dangerously low. Just like every organ in your body, your stomach and intestines need oxygen to function. When they don't get enough, nausea is often one of the first signs. This isn't just from a bad meal, it's a response to oxygen deprivation. If you're experiencing nausea along with fatigue, shortness of breath, or other signs of low oxygen, make sure to get checked out. Sign 10. Tingling or numbness in hands and feet. Have you ever experienced that odd sensation of tingling or numbness in your hands and feet? This can be a warning sign of low oxygen levels affecting your nerves. I had a patient, Mrs. Peterson, who started feeling tingling in her fingertips, and she thought it was just poor circulation. However, after checking her oxygen levels, we found she was lacking adequate oxygen in her bloodstream. When oxygen doesn't properly reach the extremities, it can cause sensations like pins and needles, or even complete numbness. This is especially common in people with lung or heart issues, and it can also be triggered by high altitudes or carbon monoxide poisoning. If the tingling doesn't go away or it gets worse, don't ignore it. See a doctor. Sign 11. Headaches. Headaches are a common symptom,
but we often brush them off as tension or dehydration. One of my patients, Mr. Hill, came to me with complaints of frequent, severe headaches that just wouldn't go away. After doing a thorough checkup, we found his oxygen levels were shockingly low. When your brain doesn't get enough oxygen, it can cause blood vessels to widen in an attempt to bring more oxygen, leading to pressure changes that trigger headaches. These headaches can range from mild to severe, and if left untreated, could develop into more serious issues like confusion or fainting. So if you find yourself experiencing frequent or intense headaches, especially with other signs of low oxygen, it's time to get your oxygen levels checked. Sign 12. Rapid breathing, or tachypnea. Last but not least, rapid breathing, or tachypnea, is a sign your body is trying to bring in more oxygen to compensate for the lack of it. Mr. Anderson, another one of my patients, came in complaining that he felt like he couldn't catch his breath. Even when he wasn't doing anything physically demanding, his breathing was rapid and shallow. This can happen when the body is struggling to get enough oxygen, leading to the body compensating by increasing the breathing rate. However, rapid breathing can also lead to hyperventilation, where too much carbon dioxide is expelled, causing lightheadedness and tingling. If you notice yourself breathing more rapidly than usual, especially if accompanied by other symptoms like dizziness or shortness of breath, don't wait. Get checked to ensure your oxygen levels are in a safe range. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 12 signs that your body might be lacking the oxygen it needs. If you've noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you love, it's time to take action. Don't wait until things get worse. Get your oxygen levels checked and make sure you're taking the right steps to protect your health. I've seen so many patients who didn't realize how much they were struggling with low oxygen until they experienced one of these signs. Early detection and treatment can make all the difference. Don't ignore your body's signals. They're there for a reason. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We're here to learn together. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.